Welcome to the Authentic Brandcast. I'm your host, Kirsten Hewer, and in this Brandcast, we chat with entrepreneurs that have been building their brand by being fearlessly authentic. And with that, we want to inspire other entrepreneurs like you to lead with your heart and share your truth so that you can attract your dream clients without being distracted by flashy marketing tactics or your competition. Today, I'm super excited to have Kia Abrera as my special guest today. Hi, Kia.
Hi. Good evening, morning, wherever we
Good
are right
evening,
now in the
morning.
world.
I love how we are all connected through the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. This is so cool. I'm super excited because for everyone who's joining us today, I've been following Kia for a while already. And when I was following her on Instagram, I thought I need her on our brand cast. So I'm super excited. She said yes. And why I'm so excited is because Kia is a brand strategist like I am, but she is focusing on video to really capture authenticity. And maybe, Kia, you would like to say a few words to introduce yourself before we just dive in.
Yeah. So, as you did mention, I am a brand strategist for video creators. I do have a company called Braveworks Inc., which is more focused on social impact marketing. So, videos are still our weapon of choice there, just because we have been in the video industry for more than 15, almost 20 years now. And then when we created our company, Braveworks Inc., we decided to really niche down because we found that it's really what gave us joy, number one. And the second, and probably more important, is that it's something that has given a lot of impact to a lot of people, to cities, to, different organizations. So, that's where we focused on. And then I have a personal brand that focuses on helping more personal brands translate their authentic self and authentic brands and businesses on video.
Awesome. And I'm all about this. I believe like authenticity is so important because when we want to create a standout brand and everything is comparable, like the only thing where we can really stand out is by being ourselves and being true to ourselves. And let's dive into today's topic and wake the creative within, and how to create a standout brand in a world where everything already exists. And you say, be brave, create. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think, well, I'm not really sure if I'm creative, but can you explain to us, like, what do you mean? Like, why do we have to be brave to create?
Yeah, so this has been a long time kind of advocacy and belief, and a really, really deep anchor of ours. It's not just mine, it's my husband and I. When we created our business, it's really it's kind of a culmination of our more than 30 years combined experience in the advertising and marketing in the marketing industry. And it's something that we have noticed is that the more that our clients are afraid of, trying something new and creating something new for an audience, they would rather um pursue a formula rather than do something new. And
Mm.
every single time that you know we would suggest something new for them to pursue in terms of, creating a video or creating a new marketing campaign, they always want to play it safe. A lot of the clients always want to play it safe, but those who were bold enough and those who were brave enough to create something new, to create something that was authentic to who they were, as a brand, as a business, as an individual, that's when there was a lot of significant impact that came out. So, um, for us, we believe in the creativity, in the innate nature of creativity. It's something that every single person, every single individual already has.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is we are not brave enough to let that out. We don't let our own creative potentials out. So this idea was actually something that I understood a little bit more when I dove into design thinking. And then I read this book called Creative Confidence by David Kelly. And it was one of my favorite books ever because that explained everything about, and it also kind of validated everything that I believed in terms of creativity being innate, and then just, people just have to be brave and be confident about what they could create.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think is the problem right now? I mean, I'm an entrepreneur for, I don't know, I don't even know if I can say that, more than 15 years at least. And
Mhm.
so what I am full of ideas. And I think like my husband and I, who's also my partner in business,
Mhm.
like we come up with, I don't know, 20 ideas per day, and not many see the daylight. But I think what I see oftentimes is we have this bold idea at night, and then
Mhm.
we are thinking it through, and we can't sleep. In the morning we get up, and then once we have a draft ready and everything, we think, oh, is this good? And then we start looking online, maybe just, the daily screen, the social media, and then we see others and we think, wait a second, can I really do this? Is she better maybe? Or I don't know. And then these great ideas, they just disappear again. So what do you think? Like, what can we do, or what can people do to just like take this brave idea and create something that is really worthwhile sharing?
Yeah, something that I learned in, like, I've been an entrepreneur for about 6 years, so I have less experience than you when it comes to entrepreneurship. But I think in terms of bravery, and I mean, a lot of people, tell you to be brave, but not a lot of people tell you how to be brave.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for me, one of the things that I have learned, in the past how many years of being in this industry, is to look for your next doable step.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that the next doable step is very powerful because it's this is something that I just recently got from Adam Grant, and he was telling people about the power of progress. And um, the reason why we don't execute our ideas, the reason why we don't plan them out, is because we are so intimidated by it sometimes. If it's a really bold and brave idea, we get so intimidated by it that at a certain point when you're about to execute something, you find an excuse not to, because your brain goes into defense mode. And I also read somewhere else. I think it was Brianna Weist where I read it. She said that the way that our brain comprehends fear, or well, our brain responds with fear when we're about to step into the unknown. And
Mm-hmm.
the reason for that is our brain actually only comprehends what it has gone through in the past. So if it's something new and it's something that our minds are not familiar with, the defense mode is fear. So it signals us that, hey, this is something new. This is something that we don't know yet. Therefore, we should really, really be thinking about this.
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know? So that's usually our defense mode. And for me, one of the ways that I try to battle through that fear or that defense mode is to start small, to risk small, and then After you go through that first hurdle, do the next doable step. And then after that, go to the next doable step. And one of the things that I've learned about this is instead of taking that one big giant leap, you're actually learning so much more along the way with these smaller, doable, more digestible steps.
Mm-hmm.
So you're being brave, but at the same time, you're trying to be a little practical about it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're not being careless about anything, or at least you're trying not to be careless about it. But at the same time, it's like this. If I'm, for example, if I'm a single mother of three and there's this coaching program that's worth $5,000, and in order to get to that $5,000, I don't just jump in. I look at what I can do to earn a little extra, just so I don't jump into $5,000 going into debt, sacrificing my kids' food on the table, sacrificing my kids' tuition fee, sacrificing, medical bills for someone who's in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that intimidates us. When we look at these big goals, we look at these big numbers, it intimidates us because we don't look at our immediate environment first and then going through those hurdle first before going into the next step, and then going into the next step before we actually get to that point where we can spend $5,000 for a coaching program, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So, in terms of creating something, when we say, I want to create, an 8-figure business, we get so intimidated by it that we start producing all of these different ideas on how to get there. But what we're not looking at is what's immediately in front of us. What is the available resource that's in front of us? What can we do that's not going to compromise us in a huge way, but can give us that progress
Mm-hmm.
towards that goal? So that is it. That's the power of the next doable step.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is really, really helpful. And as you said, like I went through Jim Fortin's TCP program, where he really explains the be to have model. So who do you have to be in order
Mhm.
to achieve those things that you want to have? So rather than saying, okay, I don't have this, so therefore I can't do, the other way around, like who am I and who do I need to be in order to create those things that I want to have? And I think this is so powerful, but also, as you said, it's such like for our brain, who is really trained to just react in fear and to protect us. I also heard like a really good in a podcast, also Jim Swarton's, I think, where he said like your brain needs a job. So when your brain realizes there's fear, we need to thank it. You say, thank you, brain, that you say that. But now let's use the power of my mind to go and create this business, or go after the things that I want. So like in terms of being really practical, Kia, so what does like creativity, like what does it really mean when we, for example, in a day-to-day business, like when we create a video? Because I think most people think of creativity in terms of only artists can be creative, or I don't know, only graphic designer can be creative. I'm not creative. I don't know, maybe I'm an accountant or a coach or a consultant. I'm not creative. So how can we, like in our daily life, like enhance this creativity to really get to where we want to be?
Yeah, I think the reason why I love this program is because it always banks on people's authenticity. And I believe in people's unique brand of creativity. If you're an accountant, you're creative with numbers.
Mhm.
you're a mathematician, you're creative with numbers. If you're a scientist, you're creative with chemistry, and you get creative. If you're a medical doctor, you get creative with the way that you solve people's problems. You solve people's diagnoses um with treatments and navigating your way around a problem. And for me, creativity is simply your ability to solve a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So if if you can solve a problem, you can create a solution for a problem, you are creative. So I think a lot of people think of creativity as this like divine gift, but it's a gift, yes, but it's a gift that's already in us. It's just that we have different ways of utilizing it in our day-to-day lives. So like like we previously mentioned, if you're an accountant and you know your way with numbers, you know how to calculate stuff in a way that tells your client that, hey, you know what, you need to stop spending too much on this so that you can save up for this. And this these you need to be able to do this in order for you to not get shocked by your taxes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're able to help people manage their finances, if you're able to help businesses manage their finances and making sure that they have cash flow and all of these things, you know how to troubleshoot your way, and navigate your way towards solving problems and challenges for the people that you help. You are creative.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I think that's something that we have to debunk. The reasoning of, I'm not creative, I'm in this field, it's not needed in my everyday life. And most of the people who say that it's not needed in my everyday life, they're actually people who create a lot every day. So, ironically, so I think this is something that we have to redefine. Something that it's a message that we have to spread, that um, you can't be brave about your creativity if in the first place you're not acknowledging that you are creative.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's so true. Like I also believe like everyone is creative, and I also think that we um, just have been told for whatever reason that only artists or people that can maybe write, they are creative, or
Yeah.
draw, while like create, like we all are creators. So this is why we are here. And I think the question is, how can we awaken this? Like, how can we help other entrepreneurs to really trust this? Because, as you said, like we all are creative and we have those ideas, but then we get in this comparison mode, and I think we need to find out what is it really that I stand for and what do I believe in. And I think
Mhm.
from this standpoint, when we really trust ourselves, I think it's easier to create and be creative. So
Yeah.
you just mentioned this example where people like they want to follow a formula. And right now I think it's really popular to have, people are looking for formulas to create a marketing funnel or to create a website. They want to have it easy. They want to have something, take it, and then just go ahead and sell a lot of stuff. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know, like I want to hear your thoughts about this. I mean, a formula is great, but you just mentioned in the beginning, like once your clients they were bold enough to try something new, that is when they were successful.
Yeah.
So how can we help, or like maybe have some advice, like how can we help other entrepreneurs to go that route and not just take a formula from someone that they found, but they maybe not even know if this
Mhm.
formula works.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? When it comes to formula, when it comes to templates, and when it comes to all of these pre-made things, I don't have anything against using those, but if you're going to use there's a difference between having a basis and copying and pasting things. So if you're looking at this, this program, this coaching program, well, I have this formula that's going to give you, 10,000 leads in 3 days. I don't know. So this strategy might have worked for this entrepreneur, but without a clear understanding of your business, without a clear understanding of who you are as a person, without a clear understanding of who you are authentically as a brand, you're not even going to be sure how this strategy can apply to you. So, the word strategy, it always gets thrown around like very loosely, but there's something very detailed about strategy that we're not really thinking about. So every time, I this is going to be weird, but every time I see a coach, telling people that, this strategy has worked for me and it's going to work for you 100% guaranteed. Like, I would cringe every time I would see something like that because, first and foremost, how can you be sure that a strategy is going to work on me if you have no idea what my business is? If you have no idea what, authentically my business is? And that's very important. The clarity of your business, the clarity of your brand is very important because your authenticity is not going to have anything to anchor on if you're not clear in the first place who you are. So the clarity, Chris Doe, one of my mentors, he said, um, clarity is what people pay for. The design is the souvenir. And
Mm,
I love that because a lot of people are like, why do I have to pay for a strategy session with you? Why do I have to pay to plan something? But really, what happens is that when you get clear, your audience gets clear. When you get clear, your products, your offering, your transformation, all of these things, it's like the gateway that opens up all of these opportunities for you. When you niche down and you're very clear with who you are and who you serve. And one of the things also that I would suggest people do, apart from, who they are, what they stand for, is to be very clear about what they stand against.
yes.
So, if you don't agree with something, like something that I just told you, is I don't always agree with coaches who said that this one strategy is, it's a one size fits all. This is something that I have done. Therefore, when you do it, you're going to succeed too. So it's not, it's not a copy paste kind of thing. So that's one thing for me is one very specific and tangible way for you to be brave and to create is to get clear, first and foremost, to get clear about who you are, to get clear about what you stand for, what you stand against, to get clear about who you serve, and to get clear about how you serve.
Mm-hmm.
Those four things. So, that's something, I mean, if people can write that down, and it doesn't have to be necessarily, you know, something that's absolutely 100% original, because nothing is 100% original in this world. And the way that we innovate is that we actually build on ideas. We build on existing ideas. And the reason why, there's what we call innovations is that people were brave enough to build on an existing idea.
So,
So,
so true.
for example, YouTube became successful when it launched in 2005. This is something that I read somewhere. Um, if YouTube had launched in 1995, it wouldn't have been as successful, because YouTube was actually just building on top of every other idea that has already exist. The idea of the internet did not exist back then. The idea of us, searching online for videos, it wasn't something that existed back then. When Google came out, then YouTube came out, right? It means that people already understood that it's possible for you to search something and then get an answer. And then
Yeah.
YouTube built on top of that by saying, you know what? People can search, but they can get videos as results. And then
Yeah.
what if we do this? And then social media, the advent of social media, it was like, I think in my time, it was like Friendster, MySpace, and then Facebook built on top of these ideas. And then we have Instagram, and then we had TikTok, so all of these innovative ideas are actually just something that it's something where people asked, how can we make this better? What
Mhm.
is it that that consumers need? What is it that consumers are looking for that we can give based on what's already available? Again, it's the next doable step,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Building on top of ideas. That's really it. So if you're sh- in order for you to be brave about an idea and you want to validate it first, you don't even have to look at the competition just yet, and you don't have to base entirely on the competition. The competition is there in order for you to nail your positioning. It's in order for you to see who you are relative to the other things that people consume that's
Mhm.
similar to you, right? So the competition is there for you to understand your positioning, but in order for you to understand your niche, to have, something that you can offer on the table, the only people that you actually only need to listen to is your audience.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So you listen to them, you find out what they need, what can you offer them that makes their lives easier,
Yeah.
that
And
makes
this
their
is
lives.
exactly,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah, this is exactly where the creativity comes in. Like
Right.
like like looking at what is already there and what
Mhm.
can I add? Like what am I really good at and what can I add to what is not there yet? And
Yeah.
looking and seeing where are the needs? Like where are those things that other people are lacking? Where's the gap? And then using my own creativity by filling this gap.
Yeah. Yeah. And I really like this concept of self-truth, you know, because when it comes to finding a niche, a lot of people are very intimidated by finding a niche. They're very worried. People are not brave enough to niche down because they think that it's going to narrow down their market. Um, but I like the idea of self-truth when it comes to finding a niche. It's because a lot of people might be in the same niche. A lot of people might be in the same, they might have the same self-truth.
Mhm.
But to me, the way that you become unique and the way that you stand out, in terms of, your brand, your business, is that you have a different journey, you have a different path as to how you got to this self-truth. How
Mhm.
did you get into this niche? How did you get into serving these people? I mean, in my case, I'm a video marketing strategist. There's a lot of video marketing strategists in the multiverse. Multiverse. And then, but the way that I arrived here, why videos are my weapon of choice, my reasoning, my journey is always going to be different from another video marketing strategist. And they might have, different ways of tackling things than me. And the reason why people hire me is because they resonate with who I am.
Mhm.
My advocacy of brave creativity is there. There's probably other people who have the same advocacy, but the way that they arrived there is different from how I arrived here. And
Yeah.
all the experiences, the thoughts, the perspectives that I have is always going to be unique compared to another person who might be in the same field or have the same, have the same advocacies, but they have different unique experiences that's theirs alone.
Absolutely. And I'm so aligned with you on that, because I believe that people not only want to work with us because of what we do, but because of who we are and what we stand for. Like, you could be the best videographer in the world. If I don't align with your values or things that you might have done or said, I would probably look for someone else.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I don't care how good you are, but if this is not aligned with what I stand for, then I wouldn't do it. But
Yeah.
if like, there are people that I follow, I just want to get in their program just because I just love what they put out, and I thought, I don't care what you put out, I want to be in it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is it's interesting actually that you said that, because I was thinking about this concept of the a thousand true fans. And it basically posits that you don't have to have a million followers, 10,000 followers. You don't have to have that much in order for you to, create something that's going to earn for you, create something that's going to impact a lot of people, because you only actually need a thousand true fans.
Mhm.
That every single thing that you're going to put out, they're going to be an absolute fan of, and they're going to be like, come on, give it to me, give it to me now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
So you only need a thousand true fans. And I think um connecting it with, waking the creative within and just being brave and creating, is just that, especially in the age of instant gratification, in the age of, followers and likes and engagement, a lot of people think that when they create something, uh people, other people, like, millions or hundreds of thousands of people, have to follow it right away. you know it becomes less intimidating if you think about the 1000 true fans.
Mhm.
I don't need to speak to every single one. My thing doesn't have to affect every single one of you. It doesn't have to speak to every person. It doesn't have to resonate with every person. I don't have to please everyone. I only need to please and I only need to serve this specific group of people.
Mhm.
And if I'm very clear on this specific group of people that I want to serve, I'm good,
Yeah.
because I'm affecting them in a beautiful way, 1 inch wide, 1 mile deep.
Mhm. I'm
So that is something that I have learned also in the process. So one of my students in my program, she actually asked me, and she said, she there was a disclaimer. She said she didn't want to be rude, but I actually answered it before she had the chance to ask it. I was telling them about the 1000 true fans, and she said, Kia, I was actually going to ask you about that, but I didn't want to come off as rude. And she said, you're helping all of these other people, get 100,000 in followers, 200,000 in followers in a span of like 2 to 4 months. But your Instagram has less than 2,000 followers, and then on TikTok you have less than 20,000 followers. Then, why are you teaching these, or how are you able to get results for these people but not for you?
Mhm.
So it's a legitimate question.
Yeah.
And that's what I answered. It's the concept of 1000 true fans, because I don't need to be speaking to everyone. I have my unique perspectives that maybe not a lot of people resonate with, and that's okay with me. It's because I only need to speak to these specific group of people, the people who resonate with me, the people who are aligned with what I talk about, what I stand for and what I stand against, and I'm okay with that. I don't always look for, the thousands and millions of follower growth. if these people are not exactly resonating with me?
Yeah.
And
And then yeah, totally. It doesn't, and then it doesn't matter if you have 100,000 followers. If they don't buy from you because they don't resonate 100% with you, then who
yeah,
cares?
yeah, and you can't give them what they need. So it's very important for you to understand that if you have something that people need, people are going to pay for it. People are going to follow. People are going to subscribe. It doesn't matter if you have like 12, 13, 14, 15 subscribers on YouTube. If you're in a dinner table and 15 people are willing to listen to what you have to say, that's a good thing. And the important thing is, and this is something that very important for people to note, is that I'm not telling you to stay at 15 people. You always have to think in terms of growth. How can I grow this as well? But you're also, you're kind of striking that balance between growing wide and growing deep. So how do you nurture the audience that you already have? How do you serve them? How do you nurture the customers that you already have? And how do you also grow and scale? How do you attract other people to your movement?
Mhm.
How do you, yeah. So there
Yeah.
you go.
So I want to I think this is perfect because I wanted to touch base a little bit on video because this is like
Right.
your specialty. So how do you use video? Like what role does video play in this whole concept of really reaching my target audience? Is it really like I know there's a lot of hype right now. I know like Instagram like is going into video, and it feels like
Mhm.
everyone is doing only video. Like
Yeah.
how can people get into that? And are there like easy steps to be creative? I heard like if you look at TikTok, I mean these entrepreneurs and on TikTok, they are super creative, and it looks like you just need your phone and you just do it.
Yeah.
Like what are like simple steps for people to get creative with video so that they can really attract the right people that need to listen to what they have to say?
All right. Well, first, let's establish how awesome video is these days. Because in 2019, this is according to HubSpot, we saw the rise of personal videos. Personal videos, meaning like you don't have to have the huge production, you don't have to have the huge budgets for you to have a video that resonates with people and entices people to buy. So it shaped the future of marketing. Um, Personalized video. That's what we saw in 2019. In 2020, it became the rise of the webinar because we hit a pandemic. It became
Yeah.
the rise of the webinar. People are in Zoom. People are going into the education knowledge economy. And now in 2021, it's actually the year of the creative economy.
Mm.
Creator economy, sorry.
Can you
Creator
explain that?
economy.
What do you mean with that?
Creator economy, it means that creators are on the rise. Video creators, content creators, basically, if you're online and you can entice people to watch you and you can influence people to watch you, you can influence people to buy or, get a call to action and get people to follow what you're doing. That's the age where we're in right now,
Hmm.
right?
So yeah.
So the video plays a huge part of this because that's one of the number one reasons why Instagram went into video. It's not because the algorithm said so. And a lot of people went into panic when this happened, and they're like, Instagram's algorithm sucks. We don't want to be slaves to the algorithm. There was a frenzy that happened in Instagram when Adam Mosseri said that. The focus on video, but we want to shift the perspective to saying that it's not the algorithm. The algorithm only measures what the audience is saying. It means that audiences are now looking into Instagram to be entertained by videos.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. And I think a lot of people were intimidated by the word entertain because they associate entertain with dancing,
Mm-hmm.
with pointing, with having a huge personality. Doesn't have to be that way. On TikTok, there's a lot of people who just like, there's this one person that I'm following, I forget his name, that he's just like, he's staring in a monitor and he's reading something. This is his camera over here. And that's it. Like all of his videos legitimately are just like that. And he's just speaking his thoughts on, the usual stuff that people say, the usual stuff that people do, and then he debunks it. That's it. And he has like millions of followers. And it doesn't, so this is what we mean when we say your authentic self. When you're authentic, the right people will find you entertaining. It doesn't matter what you do, they're going to find you entertaining.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. This is
So it doesn't have to be, you dancing or whatever and, distorting your face. A lot of people, and in fact, if you're not someone who's into dancing, if you're not someone who's into face distortions, and if you're not someone who's funny in nature or comedic in nature, and you try to be that, you're actually going to drive audiences away because you're not being authentic. Suddenly it's like, cringe. Why is he doing that? You know what I mean?
yeah.
So if you're doing something that's not authentic to you, we live in an age where people are craving authenticity.
Yeah.
You know,
But
they need someone they need someone to follow.
mhm. And then without authenticity, oftentimes people think I have to be vulnerable and show like weak spots in my I don't know what I do, what I can't do, or even like behind the scenes of feeding dogs and cats. I think this is not really what
Yeah,
attracts me and wants me to want to work with you. Like, I think we need to dig deeper and find
yes,
out really who are we? Like, what is our story? Why are we? I mean, as you said, we don't have to dance around because it would be weird if we were to do it,
yeah,
and it's not our thing to do. So,
yeah.
yeah,
So when people look at, this is the viral formula, you know, um, the viral formula doesn't necessarily apply to everybody.
yeah. And
You
I
know?
actually had one of our brand intensive students. She joined our program because she said, Kirsten, I know you have worked with corporate clients, you have worked with entrepreneurs, you have worked with nonprofits, like you have a broad spectrum and you have been doing this all your life. And you're not just an entrepreneur that has figured one thing out, because I know that you have an approach on how to do this, and if that doesn't work, there are 1,000 different ways that work for me. So, and
Yeah,
I think this is really also it. Like, really listen. Like, what do I need in order to be authentic and to build my brand,
yeah,
not being just focused on, okay, I think I need an Instagram strategy, so I'm looking for someone that does that. No, like, we need to look deep first and find out what is it that makes me
yeah,
me, and how
yeah,
can I then find a tool or a tactic and build my strategy around who I am and what I want to
yeah.
achieve.
And
Yeah,
this is something that I also want to touch on when it comes to videos, because a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, now I need to buy a camera. I need to buy a microphone. I need to buy my lights and stuff like that. This is something that I also tell my students, that don't stress so much about the tools just yet, because that's what they are. They are tools.
hmm,
And tools are amplifiers. They can only amplify what's already there. So if you're
yeah,
confused about who you are, if you're not clear about who you are, the tools will only amplify the mess.
yeah.
So
And
if you're not, yeah, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say that if your message and your brand is not clear, no amount of high production tools is going to fix that.
Yeah, you are absolutely right, and I think this is why so many people are also successful on TikTok with specific videos that are really like obviously taken by on the phone, and
Right.
people don't care because I recently interviewed an attorney who I stalked on TikTok for a few months, and I really found her so like refreshing, her approach, and she was just very mindful about those things that she said, that I thought, I don't know really what you do, but I started following her. And then suddenly I learned from her what is important about trademarks and everything. And I thought, oh, I really have to check her out. So yeah, like you're right.
Yeah.
Like these are just tools.
Yeah. And on TikTok, a lot of people go into, you know, 5, 6, 7 million followers just by using their phone. And
Mhm.
a lot of people, I think also in video, let's address the elephant in the room, editing. A lot of people are intimidated by editing, and they're like, I want to get all of these transitions, I want to get all of these effects. But we have to understand first that editing is for you to make your video as cohesive as possible. That's the only that's the function of editing, the cohesion in the storytelling.
Mhm.
And then the others, the effects and all of these things, they're all amplifiers as well.
Yeah.
So for you to have a good video, you only really need two things: to split a clip or to trim a clip, and to add text. That's it. Just focus on those two things, and you can create a video. And TikTok, Instagram, CapCut is my personal favorite. It's all of these free tools have those functions. So you don't even need to, pay how many dollars for, Final Cut Pro or
Mhm.
stuff like that. I mean, if you're already in the business of content creation and video content creation, then that's the only time where I would suggest that you upgrade to these tools.
Yeah.
It's because you already have something to amplify. But
Mhm.
if you're starting, or if you're someone who's just looking to influence using your phone, all of these free stuff, all of these free tools, they have what you need. And
Awesome.
just stick with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you already have, enough money to invest in an equipment, I would always suggest to not invest in a camera first. I would
Oh.
always suggest that people invest in audio before camera,
Oh. Okay.
because audiences will watch a crappy footage with good audio over good footage with crap audio.
Yeah, you know what? I would not have thought about it, but now that you say it, yeah, totally. Because I just a video comes into mind where I thought, oh, this is good, but I can't really hear what he's saying, and then yeah,
Then you lose them, you lose the
yeah,
audience, right? Yeah.
awesome. Thank you. So I just wanted to ask you for some tech advice, but you already said that. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you. You know what? This has been such a fantastic interview and chat with you about branding and creativity. Before we come to an end, is there? I know you are. I think you are running a program, a video program? Is there anything that is coming up? Like, where can people follow and find you and maybe join your program?
Well, they can find me on my socials over here. Wait, sorry.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
My socials over here. Um, I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Facebook. I have a website. I have an intensive that only opens 3 times a year. But we are actually coming up with a membership. It's
Oh,
gonna be this coming October. We're just laying out all of the final details. It's gonna be called the Brave Creators Content Mastery Lab, and then there's a deep tier there about creative business. So it's going to be the Business Mastery Lab. It's mostly for creative businesses or creative entrepreneurs, because that's the experience that we have. So that's going to be coming out this October. And of course, if I could invite people to come and check out my podcast, which is Be Brave Creates. It's something that's 3 weeks fresh.
Yes.
It's something that's just launched. So, it's on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and everywhere you can, everywhere you listen podcasts too. Yeah, there you go.
Awesome. Thank you, Kia. And for everyone listening, I already listened to all of those 4 episodes that are out right now, and I love them. Like, you really listen to Kia. She's very inspiring and helps you to be brave and create.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Kristen. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Kia, for joining me today. And for everyone listening, I hope you enjoyed it as well. Leave your comments in the comment box, and we will answer anything and get back to you. Thanks so much. Bye,
Thank
Kia.
you. Bye.